Howdy, Rugby Coach Joe here again. We're going to talk drop kicks today. Got a lot of coaches asking me about this. I know we got season starting, high school up here in the north. All right, mostly going to focus on kicking for points, conversions, and restarts here, not drop goals out of hand. All right, big things here on kicking a drop kick. First things first, where are my eyes? I'm not catching the ball from here. I'm not kicking a drop goal in open play. All right, my eyes should be right here on this ball. All right, focus on the ball, focus on where I'm going to drop it. Pick my spot out ahead of time where I'm going to drop this ball. All right, and then everything is focused on the ball. All right, eyes on the ball. Next thing, drop. The drop is critically important. What I see often is players, drop is an afterthought. They're way out here, they're way here, they're inefficient, the ball's tipped. If the ball is tipped when we drop it, think about how much of this is gonna continue to drop weird, and then you get a weird kick, and now it's almost impossible to make great contact with that with the ball all over the place. I like to coach players to drop this straight up and down. Some will have a slight forward tilt, some will have a slight backward tilt. I like it to be straight up and down. I think that gives me the best bounce right back off of there, best consistency as far as the target I'm trying to strike with my foot. All right, so if I've got my eyes down, I've already picked out my spot on the ground where I'm going to drop this to. Eyes are on the ball. I'm ready to make my drop. Next thing, make this drop small and efficient. Again, I often see players way up here with this drop. If I've mishandled this just a little bit and we've got a little tip to the ball, if I'm way up here, look at all the space this travels and how out of whack this drop can get before it hits the ground. Once again, really tough to strike that right once it's all over the place off of the bounce. If I'm lower to the ground, all right, we don't need to be really awkward like this, all right? But if I'm in this kind of tipped over, good athletic stance, bent over the ball, a smaller drop, even if I'm off a little bit, it's going to give me a lot less of a kick. There's less space for that on the fall to continue tipping that way. So whereas if we're up here and I tip it like this, we end up way like this by the time it hits the ground. I cut that space about in half and I'm tipped off a little bit. That's still makeable. All right. That's a lot worse than this wildly sideways ball that I'm kicking and I'm trying to strike. So picked my spot, eyes on the ball, ready to drop. I like to cue my drop with my plant foot. I'm a big fan, conversions, restarts, one step plant. And when I step and plant, that's when I'm dropping that ball. Nice timing thing you can get with that where it's plant, drop, and then we follow through. With that plant foot, where is our target? All right? I always want to be having this toe as I plant right at where I want that ball to go. So if I'm kicking a conversion, it's gonna be right between the sticks. Right between the sticks, all right? There we go, right there. Coming through the sticks, there it is. All right, restart, same thing. I wanna hit this edge, all right? Right there. Look at where that goes, all right? Plant foot is gonna point directly towards my target where I want it to go. All right, now, let's say I've done everything right up to this point. I picked my spot, all right? My eyes have stayed on the ball throughout. I've got good timing on this nice efficient drop I've got going, all right? The one thing that can whack this all out is if I pull my head, all right? Keep these eyes down. I cannot reemphasize this enough. Keep looking at the ball through the strike, through everything. Keep looking at the ball. I'm not going to kick this, of course, because I'm here by my coach's closet. I'm indoors. I'm trying to get this video out quickly to help some coach friends of mine as they're going into their season in the next few weeks. Don't look away from this ball. I have often heard until you hear the referee's whistle go and he says it's good on a conversion, all right? If I've got a restart, I do need to react dynamically, but the point is still the same, all right? Then I look up. I'm fully through that strike. I'm completely through striking that ball before my head goes up, all right? And then along with that, keep it tight to the body, all right? We want to stay on top of this ball through the strike. Again, a lot of players, even let's see, we're small and efficient, but we get way out here, all right? And then we're reaching for the ball, all right? Now, maybe my plant foot is good and I'm pointed at my target, but now I'm not square again, all right? Look at where my hips have gone, All right, everything's off kilter. I'm reaching for the ball. My timing's now got to be perfect on that strike. Instead of, if I stay on top of the ball, it's nice and square. All right, everything's in line. Even if I mishit it, everything's in line and we're ready to go. And even a slight mishit, it's not going to go as bad. Out here, all right, that mishit is going to go much further. That's going to manifest itself as a much worse strike. All right, so I pick my spot. My eyes stay on the ball throughout. I've got good timing. I've got good tempo. All right, my plant foot, my drop, they happen at the same time. I keep my eyes down through the strike. All right, keep my eyes down through the strike. I'm on top of the ball. And then I celebrate because I'm happy because I just helped my team. All right, I put an easy 2 points through the post. All right, my team's in a better position to win. Been watching a lot of sevens lately. All right, I see this over and over again. Sevens games, won or lost by 2 to 4 points. All right, those are conversions. Those aren't try margins. Those are conversion margins. Centered tries, making those easy ones, wildly important. Don't worry about the touchline ones, okay? Everybody's gonna miss those, even at the highest levels. If you can get really good right around the post and in those close ones and be 90+% on your easy ones, you're going to give your team a much better opportunity to win. You're going to see your team winning close games. So final review. All these points, let's put them together. Okay. I pick my spot on the ground where I'm going to drop the ball. My eyes stay on my ball all the way from right now before I've even started moving through my follow through with my foot. All right. I've got tempo on my plant and my kick. My drop happens right as I take this step and I plant and I'm starting to swing my leg, all right? And then the eyes stay down. My drop is, I'm over the top of it. I'm not way out here, all right? I'm square. Plant foot plants at my target. Stay on top of the ball. It's not away from me. It's nice and tight. Nice right there. Look at how that sits up. Oh, that nice sits up and down bounce. All right, I follow through, I keep my eyes down, and then I go give my teammates a thumbs up because I just helped us out. I helped us win a close game because I kicked that easy 2-point conversion and we're in great shape. Thank you very much. If you're new here, like, subscribe, etc. Does me a big solid. I'm gonna be going live here shortly for Montevideo Sevens, Day 2. Let's go USA, let's go rugby.